Hello and welcome to Nightline. I'm Raymond Goh. News making the headlines. More than 30,000 units of houses worth almost 20 billion ringgit left unsold across Malaysia. And tour company Thomas Cook falls, leaving 600,000 tourists stranded. Good morning. Good to have you with us. The Prime Minister on Monday said that there are too many smart city players working in silos, thus hindering the smart city development as a whole. Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad said to overcome the issue, the Housing and Local Government Ministry has introduced the Malaysia Smart City Framework. He said the emphasis towards turning Malaysian cities into smart cities would be one of the highlights in the 12th Malaysia Plan.
In this context, the Ministry of Housing and Local Government, under the supervision of Puan Haja Zuraida Kamarudin, has prepared the Malaysia Smart City Framework. Ladies and gentlemen, this comprehensive framework comprises all three tiers of government, as well as private sector participation to streamline and coordinate smart cities development in Malaysia. This is also to ensure a more informed guideline and decision-making by the government, which takes into consideration views from all the relevant stakeholders.
The Prime Minister said this in a video recording in the opening ceremony of Cities 4.0 Conference and Exhibition 2019, officiated by Housing and Local Government Minister Zuraida Kamarudin in Kuala Lumpur. Tun Dr. Mahathir also said public transportation is one of the major concerns of Malaysians that need to be dealt with. He said there is a need to deploy digital city solutions to develop functional, resilient and efficient mobility system. For the record, Selangor and Pulau Pinang are two states to implement smart cities, while Kota Kinabalu Sabah, Kuching Sarawak, Kuala Lumpur, Iskandar Johor and Kulim Kedah are the cities under development. More than 30,000 units of houses worth almost 20 billion ringgit were left unsold across Malaysia, with condominium and apartment units priced between 200,000 and 300,000 ringgit dominating the list of property overhang. The condominium and apartment units make up 43% of the total property overhang in the country, whereby a majority of these real estate were in the affordable range. Speaking to the media after announcing the real estate market performance in the first half of this year, Deputy Finance Minister Dato' Amiruddin Hamzah said the residential subsector alone contributed 32,810 units worth 19.76 billion ringgit to the overhang, while the shop subsector overhang contributed 5,760 units valued at 4.98 billion ringgit. In the first half of this year, 23,591 new residential units were launched, which is 49.4% lower over the same period last year. Perak recorded the highest new launches, with 4,557 units, capturing almost 20% of the national total, followed by Johor 4,233 units, Pulau Pinang 3,216 units, Kuala Lumpur 2,565 units and Selangor 2,387 units. He said there are several potential reasons behind the overhang, but his ministry will conduct a thorough study to identify the exact reason behind it.
Saya ingat kita nak kena bedah siasat lagi, buat postmortem lagi. Kenapa overhang? Adakah kerana dia permintaan daripada rakyat, dia tak mau duduk di awang-awangan, dia nak duduk mencecah kaki di bumi, lalu ditawarkan yang kena duduk di atas, maka dia tak beli. Apakah itu? Ataupun apakah maknanya dia nak duduk di area yang banyak ada aktiviti komersial yang dia boleh bekerja dan sebagainya, tapi yang ditawarkan berada jauh daripada tempat yang dia berkendakkan untuk dia diami di situ.
He also urged developers to build houses that cater to the demand of buyers in terms of the property type, location and price range. The government has defined overhang units as properties that are completed and issued with certificates of fitness for occupation or temporary certificates of fitness for occupation, but remain unsold despite having been in the market for at least 9 months. In related news, the Housing and Local Government Ministry on Monday reiterated that the Home Ownership Campaign, HOC, for unsold luxury homes encompasses all foreign buyers and is not confined only to purchasers from China. Its Minister Zuraida Kamarudin said the campaign is to solve the glut of unsold luxury homes.
Just have to correct this because you keep on Chinese buyers and it's not true. We are talking about all international buyers. There is riding on the Malaysia second home.
Especially in the area
She was met after the launch of the Malaysian Smart City Framework. Zuraida said the Secretaries General of her ministry and the Home Ministry and the Tourism, Arts and Culture Ministry will discuss the implementation of the campaign.
Firstly, I would like to thank the organizers.
The government plans to set up a senior citizens activity centre known as Pusat Aktiviti Warga Emas PAWE in every parliamentary constituency in the country. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail said the move was meant to encourage active ageing among Malaysians, and the public should also support the initiatives by the government to improve the welfare of the senior citizens.
Generasi muda pula perlu diberi pendedahan tentang kepentingan membuat persediaan bagi menghadapi hari tua dan juga panduan mengenai bagaimana untuk menghargai dan menjaga warga emas. Tak mudah ya, kerana kadang warga emas ni perlukan banyak sabar kerana dia banyak songeh je sikit.
Datuk Seri Dr. Wan Azizah, who is also Women, Family and Community Development Minister, said as of now, 88 such centres had been set up, benefiting 36,931 registered senior citizens. According to data from the Department of Statistics, Malaysia will reach the status of an aged nation by 2030, with citizens aged 60 and above making up some 15% of the total population. Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad became the first person to receive the University Science Malaysia USM Special Chancellor Sustainability Award at the university's commemorative convocation ceremony in Pulau Pinang on Monday. The USM Chancellor, who is the Raja of Perlis Tuanku Said Sirajuddin Putra Jamalulail, consented to conferring the award during the ceremony, which was held in conjunction with the university's 50th anniversary. Tun Dr. Mahathir could not attend the convocation ceremony but delivered his acceptance speech via video presentation, in which he thanked USM for bestowing him the highest award.
Menerima anugerah kelestarian Chancellor tentunya secara pribadi amat bermakna kepada saya, terutamanya apabila ia adalah pengiktirafan oleh sebuah universiti yang telah mencapai usia 50 tahun. Sebelum ini, USM telah menganugerahkan saya ijazah kehormat Doctor of Science. Saya ucap berbanyak terima kasih kepada USM kerana menganggap saya layak menerima anugerah-anugerah yang begitu berprestij dan tinggi nilainya.
Tun Dr. Mahathir also congratulated USM on its 50th anniversary and hoped the university could re-evaluate its successes and shortcomings during the period and seek a new strategy to determine its future direction. During the ceremony, Tuanku Said Sirajuddin also consented to confer the Honorary Doctorate of Sports Science to professional squash player Datuk Nicole Ann David. Meanwhile, winner of the Nobel Prize in Physics in 2014, Professor Shuji Nakamura, was conferred the Honorary Doctorate of Science, and USM's first female registrar, Dato' Siti Mazena Saad, was conferred the Honorary Master's Degree Award in Public Administration. This year, 6,338 graduates will receive their degrees in various disciplines. The Kuala Lumpur High Court heard on Monday that Joe Low had direct access to former Prime Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Najib Tun Razak. The former Chief Executive Officer, CEO of One Malaysia Development Berhad, 1MDB, Datuk Shahrul Azral Ibrahim Halmi, told the court that he had observed himself, especially while he was working at Terengganu Investment Authority Berhad, TIA, how Low can contact the former Prime Minister directly on multiple occasions. In his first appearance at Datuk Seri Muhammad Najib Tun Razak's trial Monday, Datuk Shahrul Azral testified that Low had acted as advisor to Terengganu Investment Authority, TIA, from the early days of its inception, although he was only appointed formally as advisor on April 8, 2009, through a resolution issued by TIA. Datuk Shahrul, the ninth prosecution witness in the former Prime Minister's trial, explained that during TIA's Board of Directors meetings, Low could directly contact Datuk Seri Najib to ask for his views and guidance on matters discussed. The court also heard from Datuk Shahrul Azral that requests made by Low to the former on several occasions on behalf of Datuk Seri Najib in reference to big decisions concerning 1MDB operations were consistent with feedback from the former Prime Minister. He said that he was certain that it was Datuk Seri Najib who gave Low the mandate to manage the operations of TIA and later 1MDB through talking points and action plans. Hearing before Judge Colin Lawrence Sekera continues Tuesday. Meanwhile, on the case involving Riza Shahriz Abdul Aziz over 5 money laundering charges involving 1.18 billion ringgit allegedly misappropriated from One Malaysia Development Berhad, 1MDB, the Kuala Lumpur High Court on Monday has quashed the bid by the accused, the stepson of former Prime Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Najib Tun Razak, to transfer the case to the Kuala Lumpur High Court. Judge Muhammad Nazlan Muhammad Ghazali dismissed the application and ruled that the Sessions Court is more than competent to handle the case and are very experienced to try such cases. According to the judge, Sessions Court judges are also able to deal with other possible complexities of the case. He pointed out that it has not been shown how the trial in Sessions Court would not result in a fair and objective trial to the accused. The judge added that the trial dates for this case had already been fixed by the Sessions Court, and that's from January 6th to 14th next year. For those reasons, the judge dismissed the application by the accused to transfer his case to the High Court. On to the 3 million ringgit corruption trial involving former Felda chairman Tan Sri Muhammad Isa Abdul Samad. The Kuala Lumpur High Court on Monday has dismissed the prosecution's application to postpone the trial, which had earlier been fixed for October 7th. In its application for postponement, the prosecution had said that the lead prosecutor, Datuk Sri Gopal Sri Ram, is occupied with the One Malaysia Development Berhad 1MDB trial. Judge Muhammad Nazlan Muhammad Ghazali, in his decision, said the reason stated by the prosecution team is truly unnecessary and unjustified. He said there is still enough time for the prosecution from Monday until October 7th to prepare for the case. The trial is due to run until October 25th. On December 4th last year, Tan Sri Muhammad Isa pleaded not guilty to a charge of criminal breach of trust, or CBT, and 9 counts of graft. He faces a jail term not exceeding 20 years and a fine of at least 5 times the bribe amount, or 10,000 ringgit, whichever is higher, upon conviction. Still to come on Nightline, condominium shootout leaves 4 criminals dead. Thanks for staying with us. In Selangor, 4 armed men who were believed to have robbed a house in Taman Segar Perdana in Cheras were shot dead by the police in a shootout at a condominium in Cyberjaya. State Police Chief Datuk Nur Azam Jamaluddin said 3 of them were locals, identified as S. Sri Taran, R. Balakrishnan and M. Ganesh, aged 35, 45 and 29 respectively. At a media conference Monday, Datuk Nur Azam said police are still trying to ascertain the identity of the 4th suspect. It was revealed that at about 6 a.m., the 4 suspects broke into a house at Taman Segar Perdana and escaped with cash, valuables and a black Mercedes.
Okey, selalu samun dalam rumah, dia selalu berlaku di awal pagi. Kumpulan dia antara 4 hingga 5 orang. Dia akan masuk dalam rumah. Dia akan rompak, ikat penghuni rumah dan melarikan kereta.
The victim had lodged a police report before the Selangor Police Contingent ordered the Criminal Investigations Department to hunt for the suspects. The team located the victim's car at a ground floor parking lot at Sky Park condominium in Cyberjaya around 9:30 a.m. When they approached the Mercedes, a man armed with a machete suddenly alighted from a Volkswagen Passat parked next to it and then tried to attack the police. At the same time, the other suspects fired shots at the police personnel. The police team ran for cover and, in self-defense, returned fire at the suspects, killing them all at the scene. Authorities also recovered the stolen items in the Mercedes. In Pahang, a woman was shocked to discover the body of a newborn baby boy in a women's toilet at Kuantan Central Terminal Monday morning. According to authorities, the public washroom located on level 1 of the bus station had been closed since Thursday for maintenance work. The witness said she went into the bathroom and, seeing the toilet bowl covered, she proceeded to flush it. But the toilet started overflowing with red-colored water, which was believed to be a mix of water and blood. She then called the cleaner for help, which led to the discovery of the baby's body, which was found submerged head first in the toilet bowl. CCTV footage showed a female carrying a bag entering the bathroom at 5:58 a.m. Police are now looking for the suspect and are urging anyone with information to come forward. Under the Penal Code, concealment of birth by the secret disposal of a dead body carries a maximum 2 years jail, fine or both upon conviction. Elsewhere in Pulau Pinang, a woman and her boyfriend were arrested on Saturday for allegedly abusing her 5-year-old son. The abuse came to light when a team of policemen from the Narcotics Department conducted checks at a room along Jalan Jelutong in connection with another drug case. During the checks, a policeman noticed the child had numerous bruises and injuries, including scabs on his genitals. Further inspection revealed the boy had been abused. The boyfriend, a contract worker with previous criminal records, and the woman both tested positive for drugs. They have been arrested and will be remanded under Section 31, Subsection 1A of the Child Act 2001. At the Shah Alam Sessions Court in Selangor, former Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi's 50 million ringgit bribery case involving the overseas visa VLN system will be heard at the High Court. The court was also told that the case, which contains 40 charges of bribery, will be filed by the prosecution after 1 month. Counsel Datuk Ahmad Zaidi Zainal, who represented Datuk Sri Zahid, informed the matter to the court during proceedings on Monday. Deputy Public Prosecutor Gan Peng Kun also informed the court that there were over 500 documents being prepared to be handed over to the defense. Judge Rosila Saleh set October 25th for management of the case. Coming up, deaths reported as violence erupts again in Papua. Stay tuned. Thanks for staying with us. On to the foreign front now. The world's oldest travel firm, Thomas Cook, has declared bankruptcy on Monday after talks with creditors failed. The British company was desperately seeking £200 million from private investors to avert collapse, and has now left some 600,000 holidaymakers stranded abroad, forcing the UK government to launch the biggest peacetime repatriation in its history. Other than the grounding of its planes, Thomas Cook has also been forced to shut travel agencies, leaving the group's 22,000 global employees, 9,000 of whom are in Britain, out of jobs. With the company in paralysis, there have been claims of cabin crew being left stranded and even turfed out of hotels. After the announcement, the UK government launched an operation, the biggest ever during peacetime, to bring more than 150,000 British tourists home. Describing the repatriation plan, British Transport Secretary Grant Shapps said dozens of charter planes from as far afield as Malaysia had been hired to fly customers home free of charge. Both a tour operator and an airline, the travel giant's key destinations were in southern Europe and the Mediterranean, but it also offered holidays in Asia, North Africa, and the Caribbean. Thomas Cook first began in 1841 with a one-day train excursion in England, which then grew into a huge operation, expanding to 16 countries. It fell into massive debt despite recent annual turnover of £10 billion from transporting about 20 million customers worldwide. In Indonesia, at least 6 people were reported killed, while several others were injured following a new wave of violent clashes between demonstrators and government forces in West Papua region. According to officials, hundreds of protesters set fire to homes and other buildings on Monday in a protest sparked by rumors of racist slurs directed at students by a teacher in Wamena City. The angry mob torched local government buildings, shops and homes and set fire to cars and motorbikes on several roads leading to the district chief's office. Monday's protest came days after Indonesian authorities managed to get the province under control after weeks of violent protests against alleged racism in the region by thousands of people in Papua and West Papua provinces. Wrap up this edition of Nightline. With that, I'm Raymond Goh. Thank you for staying with me and take care.